Mele Kaliki Maka, Haoli Maka Hiki Ho. This is going to be the last show of the countdown for 2017. It's going to be a good one. I'm Anahola Joe Pahukula. You're watching the Countdown, Kauai's only news-style sports show. We're also approved by Oakley. Now today we're at the Lihi in Kapa, also the multi-use path here in Kapa, also known as Kealahele Makalai. And it stretches all the way to the Kamalani Playground on the Lihui end. It goes all the way to Kuna Bay, also known as Donkey Beach on the Anahola end. And you can have a lot of fun here. Anybody can use it. Can bring your dogs. They even provide doggy bags for you. Mahalo to the county. You can also ride your bikes, your skateboard, your scooters. The one thing you cannot do is use a motorized vehicle on this path. Now today's show, it's a poi dog kind of show. It's going to be a great show. We've got just about everything. The KIF Cross Country Championships. We've also got the KMXA Labor Day races. 3-on-3 Kings of Kalena hoops action. We've got kayaking 101 with Adam King. We're also going to find out who's your favorite NFL team. But we're going to lead things off with the HHSAA Division I semifinals at Vedina Stadium between Kauai High School and Damien. Check it out. For the first time in 2017, the KIF hosted a Division I HHSAA football semifinal when the KIF champion Kauai High School Red Raiders took on ILH champion Damien at Vedina Stadium. Logan Noyce's 45-yard field goal got the Red Raiders on the board first, but Marnock QB Marcus Falfata Pedrina scored from 14 yards out. The PAT was no good. It's 6-3 Damien. Falfata Pedrina proved elusive all day, scrambling when pressured, then either running for positive yards or finding an open receiver, which hurt the Kauai High School defense in key moments throughout the game. For the most part, the Red Raider defense had some success, limiting the Kalihi boys to 142 yards rushing and 120 passing, snagging 3 picks, this one by Hoku Parbo. Damien had a total of 4 turnovers. It didn't take long for the KIF champs to respond with this 2-yard touchdown run by Jacob Nakahiki Young, and that capped off a 9-play, 49-yard drive lasting 4 minutes, 28 seconds with 2:05 left in the first half. 10-6 Kauai High School is how the first half ended as the Marnocks controlled the ball for over 13 minutes, forcing the Red Raiders to make adjustments in the locker room. In the second half, the action went back and forth as the Red Raiders started to put their offense in gear, but came up empty early in the third. Falfata Pedrina continued to give the Red Raider D fits, scrambling and hitting open receivers. But it's this third quarter hookup with Logan Lauti that put the Marnocks ahead for good, 13-10. Great catch for the score. Lauti had 2 receptions for 34 yards. Kauai High School did their best to get together enough offense to get the win. However, it wasn't good enough as Damien moved to the title game against Hilo. Kauai High School just 152 yards on offense, 94 rushing and 58 passing, and worst of all, 4 of 13 on third down conversions. The 2017 season comes to an end for the Kauai High School Red Raiders, the KIF champs, with a 13-10 loss to the Damien Marnocks of the ILH at Vedina Stadium. No doubt a game in which Kauai High School had their opportunities.
Yeah, that hurts. Our defense is out there. Our defensive coordinator, Todd Tanaka, spent a lot of hours preparing our defense, and they did an incredible job getting our guys ready. And I think it was 4 opportunities, 4 turnovers that we couldn't take advantage of. And it's I call it growing pains. It's nice to win the KIF championship, but if you want to state, you got to be able to finish. And we played against a real good Damien team. I felt that we were well matched, and the score showed that today. But it's about finishing. And again, life lessons, right? We got to finish, whether it's on a football field, in a classroom, or out there in the community, and whatever you do, it's about finishing. And today we didn't. But then again, it exposes the character of our program. I told these boys it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to cry, because that's what real men do. I said, but now, okay, it's how we're going to handle ourselves, and it's wonderful to have it's easy to have a great character when everything goes your way, okay. But what do you look like when it's not, So, and I'm thinking they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. I just feel real bad for the seniors that invested a lot of time in this program. You know, we were able to achieve a lot of goals this year, and this was one of them that we weren't able to achieve today, and that's why it hurts. But these seniors have set the standard and the bar way high for the next Red Raiders that are thinking or interested in playing football for us. So I got to give those boys a lot of credit for what they've done.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest game we've ever played, but you know, we're happy to get the W for our fans, our alumni, you know, our kids and our community. You know, it was a great redemption game for us, and we're really happy. You know, even though we didn't play our best, you know, a lot of turnovers and mistakes, and you know, just to get the W is very important for us. You know, for our redemption. You know, coming back here from last year.
This game kind of seemed as if you know, both sides had a chance to win. The turnovers, and they couldn't take advantage of those. You know, kind of talk about the game as it was going along.
Yeah, you know, it was tough. I mean, we felt that we had a lot of plays offensively, but you know, we just made a lot of mistakes. I think we had 3 interceptions in the red zone. Maybe we're driving down and just, you know, shoot ourselves in the foot, and you know, just hats off to Kauai. You know, they did a great job of making big plays when they needed to on 3rd down and on 4th down. You know, in the red zone a bunch of times, and they're a scrappy team, and they played well on defense. You know, they shut us down in the red zone where they needed to, and you know, we put it back on our defense, and they came up with one more play, and you know, that was all we needed to win, and we're happy to end up winning the football game.
Well, despite coming up a little bit short, the Kauai High School football team still had a breakout season, a season they'll never forget. Congratulations to their head coach, the coaching staff, and the Red Raider football team. Now let's move up the road a little to Puhi, the Island School campus, where it was the KIF Cross Country Championships. Now that day it was brutal conditions. It was rainy, it was muggy, and very warm. But our athletes stuck it out and did the best they could. Now let's see what I can do on this bike. Here we go. Take a little tour of the bike path here. The 2017 KIF Cross Country Championships took place at the Island School campus, where the conditions were less than ideal. Very muggy and a wet track from the rain the night before, and just as the boys' race started. It was a nice crowd that lined the 5,000 meter course, and a crowd that put up with the bad weather. Coming into the KIF Championships, Kapaa's Garrett Smith was the heavy pre-race favorite, and he didn't disappoint, getting out front early as the rest of the field were battling for 2nd and 3rd place. The rain had little effect on the eventual winner Smith, but for the rest of the field, the mud and puddles slowed down the overall times. The driest part of the course was coming through the ironwoods, where runners were able to make up time. The team competition was very tight, where you saw a red jersey, you saw a blue jersey, and a green jersey. But here's the winner, a good 42 seconds ahead of the runner-up.
It feels great. Yeah, I've really worked hard, and and this was my goal throughout the season, to just come first in this race. So I'm stoked I got it.
You know, with the win, you feel positive about heading into states?
Oh yeah, I do, because it just gives me a lot of motivation and like encouragement.
How tough was the course, especially with the rain earlier today?
Actually, the rain felt pretty good, but my shoes were they're pretty soggy, so it's hard to get leverage and stuff to move.
You know, you won by a pretty good margin. How does it feel to run in the front where you're not constantly looking over your shoulder?
It feels good, but it's kind of harder to pace off yourself, so it'll be nice at states to have people to pace off of and stuff.
You know, the states kind of being in your backyard here, you feel pretty good heading into that?
Yeah, I feel great. I'm really happy.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
On the girls' side, it was a 3-horse race as Ella Beck, Mia Takekuma, and Victoria Hennessy each had a shot to get to the top of the podium. The Waimea girls were very relaxed headed to the starting line as the course was a little drier for the girls' race. It was a clean start where the race leaders quickly got to the front, and like the boys' team competition, the girls were bunched together behind the leaders as well. 2 of the 3 leaders fell during the early part of the race, but it was a sprint for the finish as Island School's Ella Beck hit the tape ahead of everyone else, taking the KIF title.
I just gotta go. My mom said that when I know and I feel it, I know when to go.
Now, we had some rain early in the morning. Did that make the course tougher or better for you?
I don't think it really mattered, but it did. It was a little slippery. Yeah.
I know through the race you can see it. You got some road rash over there. Talk about the spill, or what part of the course did that happen?
It happened right at the beginning, like the first half mile. We just, both me and Mia, we went down, and we just kind of, when we finished, we were like, whoa, what happened? And then we had to get up and go.
When you got up, did you think, oh my God, the race is over, or you say, I just got to push harder?
I said, I just got to push harder. No matter what, just got to go.
Now, with all the training, with the KIF championships out of the way, are you set? Are you ready for the States?
Yeah, I got to train a little harder this week, and then I'm good. Good to go.
Well, States, Kauai, the KIF has done pretty well, in States for cross country. How's this group of core runners for the KIF?
I think we're going to do really good. Everyone's pushing themselves really hard.
Now, like you said earlier, there's a party going on at the gym. Yeah. What's the first thing you're going to eat?
Probably some ice cream.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to Garrett Smith of Kapa'a, Ella Beck of Island School, 2017 KIF Individual Cross Country Champions. Also, congratulations to the other runners that moved on to the state championships, which was held a week later, also at the Island School campus. Now, for our next segment, let's take a little ride down Rice Street to Kalena Park. And if you don't know where Kalena Park is, shame on you. Kalena Park is right next to the fire department in Lihui, across the street from the Lihui Fishing Supply, also Kalena's, and Motel Lani. It was the 3-on-3 Kings of Kalena Hoops Tournament, and we had ballers from all over the island participating. They brought their parents and coaches, and it was a great day to see so much activity at Kalena Park. And let's hope we have more tournaments like that at the park. Okay, I'll admit this. Kalena Park in Lihui may not have the basketball reputation as Rucker Park and the Cage in New York City, or Barry Farms in DC, or the Venice Beach Courts in Cali. But Kalena Park was the site of one of the largest 3-on-3 hoops tournaments that Garden Island has seen in a long time, as part of the Rice Street Block Party. The Kings of Kalena Hoops Tourney featured 25 teams and over 100 ballers in 2 divisions on the boys' side and 2 divisions on the girls' side. Judging by what I saw, I think the basketball future of Kauai is in pretty good hands, as the kids and coaches have dedicated more time and effort to playing hoops. A big mahalo goes out to Laurie Koga, Clyde Vito, James Ke'alalio, and Lenny Raposo at the County of Kauai Parks Division for making this great tourney happen. Now, if we can just grow a few 6'4" and 6'7" players, we'd be in pretty good shape. For the Kings of Kalena 3-on-3 Hoops Tournament, Kalena Park was so alive. It was a sight for sore eyes, as keiki from around the island had their opportunity to showcase their street ball skills. I want to thank Laurie Koga, James Ke'alalio, and Clyde Vito for helping me with that story. Let's hope we see a lot more basketball tournaments at Kalena Park. In the last segment, I was walking. I don't know what the heck happened to my bike, but I gotta go find that. Oh my God, look what happened. Where'd that come from? You know, I had to walk in that last segment.
Well, when you fell, I figure I'll pick it up and put it back together and, bring it back to you. So here you go. Now I got to go all the way back and get my bike.
Well, thank you very much for taking my bike, and most of all for bringing it back.
That's what I'm here
At least
for.
you fixed the bell. Well, right. Next segment, Kayak Fishing 101 with Adam King, the ins and outs of being a successful kayak fisherman.
Yeah, it just kind of depends on what they're looking for as far as, you know, if they want to like recreational kayak a lot more than like hardcore fishing, you know what I mean? Because you can pick up some pretty good ocean kayaks and stuff like that secondhand, and you can retrofit them always really good. You know, back in the day, you know, we used to put the milk crate, and then on the milk crate we'd put some PVC pipes in there as rod holders. So your rods go in the pipes, your gaff goes in there, and then all your tackle goes inside the milk crate, and then you can just strap that right down to the kayak. You know, so if you're looking for something that you can just throw in the water, you know, paddle into some of those, like, you know, in Allerton's, Kipukai, you know, some of those places, go for a little cruise, whale watch, dolphins, fish on the way here and there, and do a little trolling, you know, that's a really good setup.
So a few of the things that I like to bring is I've got a waterproof submersible case for my phone, so always bring that with me. Got a hatch right in here I can store some of this stuff in, easy access. Also have my fish hatch here, so I can fit a lot of stuff inside of here as well. But generally, phone, my VHF radio, really important feature. I keep this real handy. Usually clip it right there. It's a floating submersible VHF radio. So I also carry a pocket EPIRB. And so EPIRB is an emergency positioning indicator radio beacon. So if I ever would need to, this is emergency usage only, you know, turn this on, push the 2 buttons right there. I'm not going to do it right now, but it sends sends an immediate distress call to the Coast Guard, and it gives my exact location, and that is a emergency situation. It's registered, so they're going to call my family. They're going to say, "Is Adam out fishing?" They're going to be, "Yeah, we got a distress call," and they're going to, you know, get airborne and start searching. You know, call any boats in the area. You know, and then I can coordinate that with the VHF if I need to. So this I usually keep on my person, in my pocket. Anything happens, you know, something that, you know, you never really should have to use it until you have to use it, and then you're stoked to have it, you know. So this I usually keep right with me. So back here, this is my kind of my safety bag, my go-to bag in here. I've got some of my safety articles in here. I've got my bilge pump. This one here, you get the cavity starting to fill up with water. You set it in there. You just pump all that water right out of there. In case I ever need to bail out, I got my fins, my mask, and I've got a little first aid kit as well in case I need to, you know, utilize that. Life jacket. You know, Coast Guard rules, on deck, within reach. Good rule of thumb, on your body. You know, when in doubt, you should be wearing it. But generally, I stow mine here when I'm not using it. A little bit about the reels that we're using. You know, a lot of guys come from the school of, you know, you want to have, you know, heavy line, you know, big reels, you know, 6.0s, 9.0s, but for the kayak, you don't really need that much, you know. We're fishing generally between the, you know, 20 to 60 fathoms. We're not out targeting fish on the 1,000 fathom or anything like that. I may only been spooled only one time, you know. So this reel right here, perfect reel for what we do. Fits right perfect in the hand like that. This is the accurate lever drag. A lot of times we're fishing live bait. So the lever gives us a lot of flexibility on how loose or how tight we want that drag to be. So if I want fish to kind of come up to it and try to, you know, bite, a lot of fish like to turn the bait around, eat it head first. I want to give them, you know, a nice leeway so they can start taking it once they really decide to commit, and I can lock that down to a nice preset drag. You know, so a lever drag gives us a lot of leeway when we're playing with the drag when we're live bait fishing. You know, so this one here, I've got 300 yards of 50-pound braid, and then I've got another probably 150 yards of mono top shot on top of that. And that's been absolutely perfect for me. Like I said, I rarely get all the way into the braid, and I've never been spooled with this setup right here. I run one as far as my damashi. We use the sounder to try to mark the bait. So if you can get on the piles of bait, you know, jig up some opelu, a coolie, what have you, live bait those, and you're good to go. So I've just got some rigs for, you know, just for bridling, some some extra rigs, hooks and swivels and things in there. And then generally I just kind of keep this stuff back in here. Just got some extra lures, you know, some jigs. You know, these, you know, you never know. If you can't really get on the bait, you throw some of these lures in. We've got everything from Onos to Shibis, Kabakabas, you know, to the Ukus and all that, just running lures fast, you know. You get so tied up in, you know, catching bait and running bait that you kind of forget that, you know, lures work well as well, you know. What we use here is we use a Kagi spear for the initial gaff of the fish. So what you have here is a straight shaft and then a threaded. So the threaded almost acts like a barb with the fish. So the reason why we use the Kagi is to kind of stone the fish and push that head somewhat away from you. You know, you really want to be careful, especially with dealing with the toothy fish like the Onos or barracudas or something like that, to not get their teeth up into your lap, you know. So use this Kagi to hit them with that. Once you get them with the Kagi, and good rule of thumb here as well, is take the gaff, sandwich them like that. So you got them. The fish go from the water right into the hatch. Slide everything in there. Good night. There you go.
Do we need a license for a kayak?
Not yet. You know, they're talking about it. You know, Dover always is trying to figure out ways of, you know, it is a good idea. You actually can register them, and you know, you can go to the boating office and they have a little placard that you can put on your boat that has your name, your number, and stuff like that. Because if maybe you were camping at the beach and the waves came in and took your boat offshore, and somebody finds that boat and they're like, oh my gosh, was there somebody that should be occupied this boat? And they call a full search and you're sleeping in your tent on the beach, you know what I mean? So so there is something that you can do. So you can register your boat through the boating office. You can put a placard on it. It's always a great idea to know the serial number, you know, to have that with it, have it registered. It's not mandatory, you know, but it's definitely a good way of kind of, you know, crossing your T's and dotting your I's, you know.
Mahalo to Adam King for giving us the 411 on Kayak Fishing 101. Now let's get dirty. The state championships of motocross riding at the Wailua Motocross Track. In the 808, the Labor Day races are considered the state championships of motocross in Hawaii, no matter where it's held. And this year, it was held at the Wailua Motocross Track, hosted by the Kauai Motocross Association. There were riders from Oahu, Maui, the Big Island, and of course, Kauai. It was a two-day event with number plates and trophies being awarded, and of course, and most importantly, bragging rights. On both days, there were nice crowds as the redesign of the track offered great race action because of the jumps, the speed, and areas to pass. There was a wahine class and a keiki or beginners class, but it was the quads that was crazy and all over the track, and the race fans loved the action.
Just try to ride smooth laps and just pull away from the crowd. I mean, there were other riders and yeah.
How's it feel to be local brother, able to hold down the home turf against everybody else?
Feels good to represent Kauai and stuff.
Talk about the crew, because it looks like they kept your bike in pretty good shape this weekend, huh?
Yeah, my dad works on my bike all the time. His friend J-Boy, he fills my bike up with gas, like, lubes the chain, puts my bike on the stand and grabs me water and stuff.
How's this track for racing?
This track's good. It's kind of dusty. The water system's not too good, but you're just eating dust all the time if you're in the back.
I guess tonight the luau, you're going to be kind of the big winner, winning 2 different divisions, huh?
Yeah, I'm kind of stoked about that too. Just like 14 years old, like winning the expert classes, pretty sick.
Oh, really good. Really, really good, because I've always wanted to meet my sister.
For most of the way, it was a nice battle, and then your sister went down, then you're able to cruise to the win. What happened that whole exchange?
I tried to wait for her, hoping that she would come back, but she decided not to. She just wanted to cruise, but I was like, oh well, okay. But everything went well though, no one got hurt. That's the main thing.
It's been a great couple of days of motocross racing here at Wailua, the KMXA Labor Day races. But it's the Bust Big 808 Challenge is what everybody is waiting for. Randall Okasoda led off with major airtime. 14-year-old David Dabin wowed the crowd with this one. More on this brother later. Talion Jeffries gets big-time style points for the jump and the cool Aloha shirt. Here's Randall Okasoda posing for the fans. Isaac Oshita scores points on this takeoff. The Bust Big 808 Challenge was organized by Leonard Kabinatan, and the winner is number 917, David Dabin. Okay, if you don't think motocross riders are tough, check out this video. These guys are rugged. Many of the riders ride with injuries. In fact, this rider got up and continued to ride that day. A big mahalo going out to Devin Parado and Ryder Kauai, as well as all the other racers at the KMXA Labor Day races. As you can see, we're at Donkey Beach, or as other people know it, Kuna Bay, which brings us near the end of Kealahele Makalai, which also brings us near the end of our journey, but not the end of the show. One more segment to go, and it's a good one. We're going to find out who's your favorite NFL team. Who's your favorite NFL team?
The Chiefs. Gotta go Kansas City.
Is there a story behind that?
That was my hometown, so I'm always gonna be a hometown girl and support them. But right now they're really rocking it.
Who's your favorite Chief of all time?
Tony Gonzalez. Yeah, gotta go big or go home.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, from a roller derby chick, I would expect that answer.
Well, I can tell you a quick story. You know Neil Smith. He's probably mad I didn't say his name as my favorite Chief. But one day he came into my restaurant and he said, "Oh, you play roller derby?" And I was like, "Oh, you play football?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, sometime you can come out and I'll teach you how to hit." And I said, "Well, sometime you can put on a pair of skates and I'll show you how we hit." And he laughed, and he ended up actually coming to one of our games because he actually was the owner of indoor women's football for a while. So he got really interested in chicks and how we hit.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
Oh, Steelers. Guarantee Steelers. Our whole family is Steelers.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
The LA Rams. My favorite players are two Youngbloods, Jack and Jim Youngblood.
Is there a story about you being a Rams fan?
I've been a Rams fan since the 70s. I just like the way they played defense. They were a real stellar team on defense. And the way, you know, they pulled out throughout the years. I know it wasn't all that great the last 20 years, but I still stayed with them.
So you were with them when they were in St. Louis?
Yes. Through the bad and through the good.
So you like the little curly Q on a Saturday helmet then?
Oh, always. Always. That's Ram. That's why I own a Dodge Ram.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
Green Bay Packers.
I know you're from that area, but is there a story behind that?
I'm from that area. Brett Favre. He was ours for so long. That's why.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
My favorite NFL team is the Chicago Bears.
Is there a story?
But my favorite player is not from Chicago Bears, but there's a story behind the Chicago Bear one. I remember when we were working at Sheraton Coconut Beach, and Michael Singletary came over, and he had some kind of party he had to go to, but you know, he was at the luau with the luau boys, and they said they were going to go down to the beach and have a few. So he said, "Hey, can I go with you?" He said, "Yeah." So they took him down to Kilea, and we all joined in on them, and we had a great time with Mike and his family.
Is Mike Singletary your favorite Bear?
He's one of my favorite players, yeah.
Now, over the last 2 years, it's been kind of lean for the Bear fans. How difficult has it been?
Oh, it's been very, very, word can I use? Stressful. But they're my favorite team, Chicago.
Well, thank you very much, and we're not going to hold that against you, okay, Coach?
Thanks.
Okay, we got a Chief, we've got a Bear, a Ram, a Steeler, and a Green Bay Packer. You got to be good to me as we end this segment. Who's your favorite NFL team?
America's team, Dallas Cowboys.
And is there a story behind you being a Cowboy fan?
Actually, yes, there is. My grandfather was a Cowboy fan. My dad was, and I just figured I follow suit. So I'm a Cowboy fan too as well.
So, like me, you were born a Cowboy fan, which is probably the best way to go, huh?
That's the only way to go, right? That's the only way to go.
Now, there's some fans, they dress up in this funky costumes every week. There's some fans, they just dig into their team and just try to be knowledgeable about their team and be loyal. What kind of fan are you?
Well, I follow football. But like I said, I've always been a Cowboy fan. But I've been a fan since Roger Staubach and even since Gary Hogaboom. So I've been a fan when they've been at their best and then they've been at their worst as well. So
I know last time I threw out Babe Laufenberg, but you was a fan when they had Steve Pallure too.
Yes, yes I was, bro. Yes I was. I was a fan then too, bro.
Okay, my favorite Cowboy is Troy Aikman. Who's your favorite Cowboy of all time?
Of all time would have to be Randy White, my favorite Cowboy, Randy White.
Now, I know last time I told you I didn't expect that, but that's a cool answer. Hall of Famer, Manster. Everybody gonna know who Randy White is, huh?
Oh yeah, Randy White, beast right there.
Well, thank you very much, and let's hope for a good end of the season, huh?
Guarantee. Take it out. Is this the countdown?
Yeah.
Okay. Countdown, baby.
Big Mac, he's my guy. How about them Cowboys? Well, that'll bring a close to the final show of 2017 for us. I want to say a big mahalo to everyone who had a hand in helping us produce our shows this year, especially Brother Kainoa. Study hard, have fun on the mainland, enjoy the snowboarding. Also to Manny Henriquez for all your behind the scenes work, your sideline work, and making our Facebook page look pretty darn cool. If you need to contact us, the Countdown Kauai at gmail.com and our Facebook page at The Countdown. And for one last time, for Coach Todd, Manny Henriquez, I'm Anahola Joe Pahukula. Mele Kaliki Maka, Aoli Maka Hikiho.
Hey, come on. You're supposed to be running.
Oh, okay.